ask you the same question that I asked you. I know you guys had a lot of big wins last year. It was an individual game. Where's this one ranked?
You know, every season is precious, and to win the first Big Five Classic is precious. And we wanted to represent Temple, and we played together. We talked about that before the game, and this feels special. You know, I talked about that earlier, how when I first came to Philly, I didn't understand the magnitude of the Big Five, because I was a foreigner. So, but just being here these 2 years, I realized that this is a big deal, and it's big for women's basketball, and especially this year when we have so much exposure. I mean, this setup was awesome, and it makes me feel good as a coach to understand that we are finally getting some due.
Would you like to host it next year? Because
Absolutely. Bring it on home. We're championship hosts, right?
What do you think it would be like in the city in that?
I think we'll just have the same fire. The same fire, because we're talking about 6 teams of women's basketball that are really, really good. Every one of these teams are really, really good. And so I think it would be nice, of course, to have it at Leah Course. And this city needs this.
Coach, you guys outscored Villanova 46-28 in the second half. You know, what was kind of your focus heading out of the locker room at halftime and heading into the second half to obviously make that big adjustment?
Well, we were down 4 at half, and so we were doing okay, but I knew that we had to step up our defense to be able to turn it around, and I think our defense is what really turned it around. It also gave us the momentum, and it gave us the confidence to just keep pushing.
On the flip side, though, offensively, you turned it over, I think, 13 times in the first half, and only, I think, 1 in the third quarter, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, we had 13 turnovers at halftime, and I talked about that, and we ended up with 15, so we had 2 in the total in the second half.
Yeah, was there anything that you see from your team when they're committing those turnovers, and what did they clean up there in the second half?
Yeah, some of them were unforced turnovers, just not taking good care of the ball, and we talked about that at halftime. Is we've got to take care of the ball, not have unforced turnovers where we're throwing the ball away.
Coach, Tristan had one of her best games of the year so far. She had 15 points, was really playing well on the offensive end. How important is she to your offense? How does your offense kind of look when she's really on her game when she wants to play?
Yeah, she's really come out, and in the era of the transport portal and all that, we have 7 new players, and so she's worked the first half of the season trying to make sure everybody's where they need to be, and so she hasn't looked for a shot. We encouraged her that she's a scorer, that she can also do that. She's now comfortable with getting everybody where they need to be, and we're comfortable playing off each other, and so now she can score the ball.
Coach, what you can see from Kayla today? 3 baskets off the rep in that fourth quarter. It feels like she's really been finding her form these last couple of games.
Yeah, she has. I mean, you see her jump shot. I mean, she really gets up there, and we love that. I mean, she can sky. The defense goes, and they go down, and she keeps going up. I call her Air KT, so she's got to live up with that. But she has got a nice jump shot. She can rise up over her defenders, and we love that. And she also has that pace of the game where she's pretty fast.
Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
For the age of as you mentioned, with the age of the transfer portal, 7 new players, what does it mean for Tiara to stick around through all of that? For the previous coach was down with you, and now 26 points MVP tonight.
Yeah.
And
She's a very important part of our team. She definitely is. And, we praised her, of course, for sticking around and helped her with her game and instilling the confidence. Like she could play in the pros. And we encouraged her to continue to work. And she works really, really hard. And I think we'll see her at the next level.
Coach, with Diane Gary, she the whole season she's kind of struggled a bit from 3-point range, and then today there was a moment where she shot a 3 air ball, kind of looked to the bench and gave a thumbs up, and then followed it up with another big 3. Yeah. Can you talk about just her not losing that confidence and just sticking with it when she's not making those shots?
Yeah, and she's a great 3-point shooter, and she's had some downtime, and we keep telling her shoot. And, you know, the confidence, we wear these bands that say confidence controls performance, and so if they're confident, you know, that controls their performance. Don't get down on yourself. And she's had a rough spot with her shots, but she never got down on herself, and we're seeing that she's back. T-Mac is back.
Diane, you worked so hard to build the profile of Temple women's basketball on campus and build it in a city that doesn't have a WNBA team, as we've discussed at the end of days, but you know how much Temple resonates in the city, and what do you think this does? And we discussed West Virginia, a nationally ranked team, coming in a few days. What do you think this does to raise the spotlight?
Well, and that is our goal, obviously, to get back to Temple basketball where it was before. And, you know, our goal is to represent, you know, our brand excellence in Temple. We want Temple basketball to roll off people's tongues. And I think we're doing that. Our ladies are doing that on the court and off the court. And so we've been working really, really hard for this program.
There's some people out there in the college basketball world who have pretty deep ties to the neighborhood. I think you know a few of them. Did any of them text you in the days before about this, and do you think any of them will in the next few?
Well, I do get a lot of texts, for sure, and there's probably like 75 of them waiting for me. But we are proud of what we're doing, and we are, you know, we're gonna continue to push. We're gonna continue to push, and hopefully some of those people will give us an NIL.
Any more questions for Coach?
Coach, you look at, just going back to like the overall scope of this tournament, the men's side did it last year, it's the first year for the women's side. It seems like it was a pretty big success in its first year. Just how important do you think this tournament's gonna be going forward in the future to continuing to grow the women's side of the Big Five and the women's side of basketball in general?
Yeah, you know, Denise and I talked about it before the game. Like, this is awesome. It is just, the feel of it is really great, and it's great that Philadelphia is shining a light on women's basketball. And, you know, we've probably played in the shadows for a long, long time, but this kind of exposure and this tournament can shine a light back onto women's basketball. And we can catch the wave. Right now, women's basketball is hot. If we don't catch it, we're gonna be in trouble. And I think the Big Five Classic has put a tentacle in it and said, look, we gotta ride with this wave.
Last question for Coach.
Coach, you guys are down 9-0 to start the game, then go on an 8-0 run. I know basketball is a game of runs, but what does it say about this team in particular that you weren't faced with the environment going down 9-0 in the first 2 minutes of the game?
Well, I gotta tell you, my assistants kept saying, Coach, we need a timeout. And I'm trying to find the clock with the score, like, why? What's the score? What's the score? And then I look it up, it was 9-0, but, you know, I'm a stickler for stopping momentum. So I didn't want to stop the momentum. But, you know, we didn't get down on ourselves, and we kept playing.
All right.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you.